Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome to episode number 212 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. One of the common misconceptions that I see both professionally and personally is that people don't think that they're leadership material if they're not loud, aggressive, direct, extroverted. Leadership, however, is not a personality trait that you innately have or you don't have. It is a skill that you develop, and it pays dividends for years to come when you develop these skills. Today's podcast is going to help you understand the difference between the personality and skill of leadership and help you lead even more authentically. If you feel a bit uncertain about leading, there can be a number of reasons why. There could be past experiences where other people told you to be more like someone else, which led you to question if you're a good fit for the organization or for a leadership role. People have good intentions when they make these suggestions to be like someone else, copy this person. But it often backfires because people begin to believe that who they are just doesn't work. They begin to want to take a step back from leadership roles or think about not taking any more on as they lose confidence in themselves or the organization because they see that comment, that suggestion, that piece of feedback as a vote of a lack of confidence in how this person is showing up. And another reason for feeling uncertain about leading is that you might have had some failures in the past. You tried taking on a bigger role, or you might have taken on more scope and responsibility, and that challenge felt so overwhelming or didn't work out in a certain way that you just don't want to do it again. You might have received feedback about your leadership style, for example. So you think now that leadership just isn't for you. And whether it's how the leadership role affected your personal life, maybe your mental health, or even how you were viewed by other people, it's normal to feel like you're not ready to take on the role of a leader again. Yet the reason that working on your leadership skills keeps coming up is that you know that leadership in some shape or form is part of the next step in your career. Leadership of yourself to create different boundaries or ways of working so that you have more balance in your life, or leadership of others to manage, to influence more people, to feel more confident in your field of work, in your industry, in your organization. And given that this is such an important next step in your career and life, I want to offer you a paradigm shift to see leadership as a skill that can be developed, not a personality trait that you either have or don't have. Is it really true that leadership is a personality style that you were just born with, that you were just destined to have? Would the world be better off if everyone that led was exactly the same? Research has shown that diverse teams have better results. The truth about leadership is that it's easy to just be like other people, but it's not the most effective, nor is it the most sustainable way for you. If the world never questioned leadership styles and the value of different types of leadership, we wouldn't have the diversity that we continue to see more of today, leading and working across a number of fields and industries. We're trying to break the stereotypes, not reinforce them. And while it is uncomfortable not to be exactly like the leaders you've seen in the past, evolution and progress come when we can integrate different styles, different ways of working and leading. And this allows us then to go beyond stereotypes, to really pull out what truly does create extraordinary leadership so that we can focus on developing those skills instead of trying to copy personalities. For example, you don't have to be loud and aggressive, but you do have to communicate your ideas and be able to share them even when it may be uncomfortable. The difference between these behaviors are learned skills. Someone that may speak loudly and often may not say the most coherent or appropriate things in the moment. They may initially seem like the best fit because they speak up, but the quality of what they say diminishes the value of their voice in speaking up. Likewise, someone may have the best ideas, but if they don't share them at the appropriate moments, it's hard for other people to benefit from their leadership. So how do we actually develop our leadership skills? I work with my clients on congruent leadership strategies. It's a process of understanding and aligning who you are internally, your natural inborn tendencies, and what the external world needs from you. It's having the purpose, the process, the tools in place for managing yourself and other people instead of winging it. And instead of feeling like you're doing a copy and paste form of leadership where you imitate who has gone before you, you're developing a truly unique leadership style and brand that you can call your own. This may feel more difficult at first because you're charting your own course, but it develops your own critical thinking skills to answer the hard questions like, is this the only way this can be done? Or does it have to be my way? It allows you to bring more people into your world while not diminishing your own value. Often the trouble that comes with leadership is that leaders are so worried about how they look that they don't want to be wrong. They'll fight to appear right so that they don't lose face, reputation, or so that their team doesn't lose face or reputation. But in the process of doing this, instead of looking like a hero, they appear stubborn, difficult, or hard to work with. So instead of swinging on a pendulum of being a pushover or feeling like a pushover to being a tyrant and trying to dominate every conversation, you'll find yourself more in the middle with congruent leadership strategies, knowing that there is a time to advocate and a time to be a team player. You'll work with these moments of decision making where you have to make a call on how to respond. And instead of reacting with the same responses you've had in the past, you'll question if this is the best way to handle this situation. The reason congruent leadership strategies work is because it takes into account not just what the outside world needs, but how you naturally prefer to behave. Your personality does matter when it comes to leadership, but not in the way that you believe. And it matters because self-awareness helps you navigate how to bridge the gap between what you need, your growth edge, and what others need from you. There are studied and researched skills of leadership that have been correlated to extraordinary leadership that have been benchmarked across industries and leaders. They are simple to understand, but people often don't know what they are or what skills to focus on. So we help you identify exactly what to focus on first. Coaching gives you the ability then to see what exactly you need to focus on, supports you in real life attempts, and then helps you make course corrections so that you aren't derailed in your career when things inevitably don't work according to plan. Just like an athlete trains and recovers from setbacks and the unexpected, my clients are also in the field. They're working on these leadership skills and training them in real time. They manage teams, companies, and families, and those come with their own set of challenges. Without support, they may not keep going, or they may decide that leadership just isn't for them. And that would be such a tragedy. Their innate wisdom, the brilliance that they truly do have, becomes bottled up and never shared because they don't trust themselves or others as much anymore. And instead of working through a simple set of skills and addressing one or 2 points of change, they'll want to start hiding and then overworking instead, retreating from relationships, going back to the world of doing more by themselves to compensate for not being able to lead as effectively as they desire or trust their own leadership abilities. And leadership truly is a no way out but through type of skill. You'll benefit from having leadership skills, and then you'll also suffer from the lack of leadership skills, whether it's overworking, hiding, or having others suffer because you knew how to avoid a problem but didn't have the influence to make it happen. The consequences of not working on leadership skills are real. Fortunately, though, it is simple to do this thing called leadership and have it benefit you and others for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to be a massive struggle. And as you get better and you have more reps in the field working through these skills, your confidence grows, your ability to handle setbacks grows as well, and this doesn't have to be the hardest and most difficult thing in your life. Your capacity will increase, and whether or not you take on more work, responsibility, challenge, and manage more people, that is going to be up to you, and it's not going to be limited by your leadership skills. Now, this is when you get to decide. You have the option of overworking, of hiding, of holding on to that innate belief that leadership is a personality trait and not a skill. Or you have the option to believe that leadership is a skill that can be developed. Which one do you want to choose? Do you want to downplay your ability to lead, or do you want to do what's most helpful now and lead yourself and others in the most simple and sustainable way? If you want to choose the latter, to work on a set of skills instead of changing your personality and create more sustainable ways of living and working authentically as you, I want to offer that this is the path from going from an overworked achiever to a spiritual achiever. And if you'd like to become a spiritual achiever, I invite you to watch the free training on how to stand out and lead using spiritual high performance strategies. You can go to the show notes at mayamsin.com/212. And you can apply to join my Spiritual Achiever coaching program. We're going to create your next chapter with these spiritual and high performance strategies to achieve time, mental, and financial freedom using my proven method. It is risk-free. You either start seeing results within your first month, or I give you your money back. So you can schedule your call here at www.mayamsin.com/contact. We'll see you on the inside. That's it, my friends, for this week. I hope you have an amazing one, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.